What's going on YouTube? This is your boy Taddy coming at you again with another video. Now in October of 2017, Xbox released 13 original Xbox titles that would be backwards compatible with the Xbox One. Well, here it is a few months later in April of 2018 and they just released 19 more titles. So we're going to dive down and take a look at those 19 original Xbox One titles that are now backwards compatible with the Xbox One. So you ready? Let's go! Okay folks, so we're going to be going over the 19 original Xbox titles that will become backwards compatible starting on the 17th of this month. On the 17th, Xbox is releasing 8 titles, and then on the 26th, they're releasing 11 more. So we're going to start off with the first 8. Okay, so the first title that we're going to start with is Blinx the Time Sweeper. Now, this was an only on Xbox title, and it is a platform game developed by Artoon and published by Microsoft Game Studios. It was released for the Xbox on October 7th, 2002, and a sequel, Blinx 2 Masters of Time and Space, was released for the Xbox in 2004. Now, it was advertised as the world's first 4D action game. Blinx the Time Sweeper is a third-person platform game in which the player controls the titular character Blinx, an anthropomorphic cat who is on a mission to prevent the end of Dimension B1Q64 and rescue its princess from the evil TomTom gang. Blinx is outfitted with the TS-1000 vacuum cleaner, with which he can exert control over time itself through 5 unique time controls: slowing down time, speeding it up, recording himself, reversing time, and stopping it entirely via pausing. Next, we're going to be taking a look at Breakdown. Now, Breakdown is a first-person action game released by Namco in 2004 for the Microsoft Xbox console. It was an only-on-Xbox title, and the game was praised for its use of the first-person perspective for storytelling. Although Breakdown is a first-person action game, it integrates elements of a fighting game and uses auto-lock for shooting enemies. The viewpoint is always the player's, and interaction with objects is realistic. Ammunition is picked up by looking down and grabbing it instead of walking over it. Doors are opened by grabbing the handle, key cards used by swiping them over a scanner, and ladders climbed by using one's arms. Health and energy are replenished by consuming energy bars, hamburgers, and sodas. Alright, the next title we're going to be taking a look at is a game that is highly sought after, and that would be Conquer Live and Reloaded. It too is an only on Xbox title. Now, Conquer Live and Reloaded is a platform video game developed by Rare and exclusively released for the Xbox in June of 2005. The single-player mode is a remake of the 2001 game Conker's Bad Fur Day for the Nintendo 64. However, it includes a new multiplayer mode that is different from the Nintendo 64 version using Xbox Live. Now, the multiplayer in Live and Reloaded uses the same third-person perspective as the single-player game. Multiplayer consists of different game modes such as Capture the Flag or the standard deathmatch modes. The player may participate as a member of the SHC or the Teddies. As well as a choice of soldier, the game has a choice of classes which significantly affect playstyle. Okay, next we're going to be taking a look at The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind is an open-world fantasy action role-playing video game developed by Bethesda Game Studios and published by Bethesda Softworks. It is the third installment in the Elder Scrolls series of games, following The Elder Scrolls II: Daggerfall and preceding The Elder Scrolls IV: Oblivion. It was released in North America in 2002 for Microsoft Windows and Xbox. The main story takes place on Vvardenfell, an island in the Dunmer province of Morrowind, part of the Empire of Tamriel. The central quest concerned the deity Dagoth-Ur, housed within the volcanic Red Mountain, who seeks to gain power and break Morrowind free from Imperial reign. Although primarily a fantasy game with many gameplay elements and Western medieval and fantasy fiction tropes inspired by Dungeons & Dragons and previous RPGs, it also features some steampunk elements and drew considerable inspiration from Middle Eastern art, architecture, and cultures. Alright, next we have Hunter the Reckoning. Hunter the Reckoning is a video game based on the role-playing game of the same name, developed by High Voltage Software and published by Interplay Entertainment. The Reckoning was released on May 21st, 2002 in North America for the Xbox. Hunter the Reckoning is an action game where the player fights hordes of enemies with melee weapons, ranged weapons, and magic. The Reckoning has spawned two sequels, Hunter the Reckoning Wayward and Hunter the Reckoning Redeemer. The Reckoning is an action game with elements of the hack and slash and the beat-em-up genre of fighting. The game lets the player choose between one of four characters, each of which has different weapons and abilities. The player acts as a human monster hunter, combining melee, ranged, and spell-driven attacks called edges. The Reckoning has single-player and multiplayer modes, allowing up to 4 players. Next up, we have Jade Empire. Jade Empire is an action role-playing game developed by BioWare, originally published by Microsoft Game Studios in 2005 as an Xbox exclusive. It was later ported to Microsoft Windows PC and published by 2K Games in 2007. Later, ports to Mac OS and mobile platforms were handled respectively by Transgaming and Aspyr. Set in a world based on Chinese mythology, players control the last surviving spirit monk on a quest to save their tutor Master Li and defeat the forces of corrupt Emperor Sun Hai. The spirit monk is guided through a linear narrative, completing quests and engaging in action-based combat. Jade Empire is an action role-playing game in which players take control of a character most frequently dubbed the Spirit Monk. The Spirit Monk has 6 available preset character archetypes with different statistics. These statistics are split into health, magic, energy, and focus, used to slow down time during combat. The characters are divided into 3 male and 3 female characters, with a 4th male character being available in later versions. Exploration is carried out from a third-person perspective through mainly linear or hub-based environments where quests can be accepted from non-playable characters, and completing quests grants rewards of experience points, in-game currency, and occasionally fighting techniques. In addition to standard gameplay, players can engage in a shoot-'em-up mini-game with a flying machine, earning items and additional experience. Alright, next we're going to be talking about Panzer Dragoon Orta. Now, if you don't already have a copy of this, you're going to be paying a pretty penny for it. It already sells for $60 or more for a complete copy online, and my best advice to you is, if you can't find one at a local yard sale or garage sale or flea market, go ahead and throw down $60 to get your complete copy. Panzer Dragoon Orta is a 2002 rail shooter game for the Xbox, published by Sega and developed by Sega's Smilebit studio. It is the 4th and final game in the main Panzer Dragoon series. Many of the developers had previously been part of the defunct Sega studio team Andromeda, which disbanded after the release of the previous Panzer Dragoon game, Panzer Dragoon Saga, on the Saturn in 1998. The story follows a teenage girl, Orta, who is rescued from her lifelong prison by a mysterious dragon and must defend herself from the forces of an oppressive empire. Panzer Dragoon Orta is a rail shooter. Players can control the dragon's position on screen and may briefly slow down or speed up. The latter can be used as a potent ramming attack, but ultimately are in no control to fly about the level. Attacking is performed by holding down a mappable attack button, maneuvering an on-screen cursor over enemies, and releasing the button to fire a volley of arching lasers at each target. Orta is also equipped with a rapid-fire pistol, which can be used by tapping the attack button instead of holding it down. Enemies must thus be defeated before they vanish off screen as the levels scroll by, with the exception of boss battles, which take place in environments that loop until the boss is defeated. An on-screen radar marks enemies in the dragon's immediate surroundings as red dots. Using the right and left triggers, the player can rotate the view 90 degrees to the left or right. This way the player can look in front, to the sides, or behind the dragon and take down incoming enemies. A life gauge displays the dragon's current health. When the dragon's health reaches 0, the game ends and the player will have to redo the entire episode. If the dragon dies during the final boss fight of the episode, the player also gets the option to restart the episode at the boss fight. Okay folks, and to conclude the first part of this two-part series of original Xbox titles coming to backwards compatibility on the Xbox One on April 17th, we follow it up with SSX3. SSX3 is a snowboard racing game developed by EA Canada and published under the EA Sports Big brand. The game was initially released on October 20th, 2003 for the GameCube, PlayStation 2, and Xbox. It was later ported to the Game Boy Advance by Visual Impact on November 11th, 2003, and to the Gizmondo by Exient Entertainment on August 31st, 2005 as a launch title. It is the third installment in the SSX series. SSX3 is a snowboard racing game played from a third-person perspective. Players control one of various snowboarders and compete in events set across individual courses and peaks on a mountain. Unlike previous games in the series which contain unconnected courses, a freeride mode also allows players to freely roam the open world consisting of all the courses in the game, and it is possible for the player to ride from the top of the mountain to the bottom without stopping or reloading each course. New areas are progressively unlocked throughout the game. So there you have it folks, there's part 1 of a two-part series I'm doing on original Xbox titles being added on to Xbox One's backwards compatibility. Now part 2 will be coming out next week, so be sure to stay tuned for that. All of the titles listed earlier will be released on April 17th, and the other 11 titles will be released on April 26th. I've got links down in the description to all of my social media. If you need to reach me, go ahead and hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. If you've enjoyed the content, go ahead and leave me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. While you're at it, go ahead and hit the little bell icon next to it, because when you do, you're going to receive a notification every single time I upload new content. Alright folks, I hope you're having a great week. I know I am. I'm Tata Collector, and have a good one.